The culling has begun. The Reaper is here to stay. Hello everyone, I'm the Holy Hermit, and today I have some amazing in-depth information for you. What I'm about to present concerns the new expansion of Diablo 3, and the entire video will be full of spoilers. So please be wary of that. Gameplay in the background is a simple farming run to keep things colourful, but the information I'm about to present is absolutely astounding. So here I begin. Today this morning, a post went up on diablofans website that explains all the new changes that will take place once the new expansion is released. The data obtained by a website is considered by many to be accurate, but since this is raw data taken from the early builds of the expansion, some minor changes may occur as the game proceeds further. Everything I present to you here is taken from diablofans website, so I humbly give them all the credit they so truly deserve. So the first set of information is about the new character called Crusader. You've already seen some of his skills he possesses, but here is a list of few more amazing ones I found. All of them sound astoundingly great, but here are some examples that truly inspire me to play this class. Heavenly Strength. You can now use a two-handed weapon in your main hand whilst holding a shield in the other. The only penalty associated with this feat is a reduction in movement speed. Or something like Steed Charge, where the Crusader rides his magical horse, decimating any foes that stand near the Crusader without ever getting noticed. Crusader also is a support character and follows a strict code of laws that aid him and his allies in the battlefield. Something similar to Monk's Mantra, these new skills are used to affect Crusader and his allies, but this time there's a lot more to it than just passive bonus. Each law, different from the other, has an active effect too that is shared by Crusader and his allies. For instance, Law of Hope, when active, increases resource generation of everyone up to 20%, and passive affects the resource generation when anyone picks up a health globe. All that and more you can read on the screen, but now let's move to the next big section of the news. So here we are, the new game modes, but please do remember that this is the early testing phase. Changes can and will be made to some of these. Come during the expansion pack, once the campaign is finished, the game prompts you to join the adventure mode. This so-called Endgame mode for Diablo 3. As of now, it'll contain 3 different sections. You can participate in A. Loot runs, B. Take on bounties, or C. Engage with the Devil's Hand. Along with this, there'll be a slider that allows you to adjust the difficulty, just the way we do now with monster powers. 6 levels of slider exist, with 1 being the standard D3 experience and 5 being the hardest mode. A very important thing to bear in mind is the bonus experience and item drop increase as one moves from 0 to 5. Loot Run, the first new endgame content in Diablo 3. From the raw data gathered by the amazing individuals from Diablo fans, Loot Run is an activable quest that can be initiated by the player. Once active, a bar at the bottom will appear that requires to be filled by the player as he slays the monsters. Once the bar is filled, a portal to the Loot Guardian is open and the player is required to defeat the Guardian and obtain the loot. Once this activity is finished, a player can leave the area and start the quest again. And speaking of again, if you wish to do another run of the same kind, kill the monsters and this time obtain a portal keystone. Take this keystone to, believe it or not, Zoltan to start another run. Next up are the challenge trials. These acts can also be performed in a group and vary from each other by a significant amount. A few examples stated are: Wave Trial. Destroy monsters before the time runs out. Additional time left after killing very monsters is converted into XP. Horde Trial. Kill monsters before time end. Berserker Trial. Kill monsters before they become enraged. Slaying marked monster grants additional XP and loot. Goblin Hunt. It's simple. Find all the goblins and slay them before they escape. And Collapsing Dungeon. Here, a player must loot all Nephilim relics to delay the destruction of the dungeon. Next endgame content is Nephilim Trials. Not a lot is known about them yet, but the rumours are it has something to do with achieving one's own birthright. This will no doubt make you stronger, but might very well uncover new stories about D3 characters. Bounties is the next endgame content. After speaking to Mayor Bron, receive a bounty that requires you to slay a specific monster. Once you've accomplished that, return to Mayor for your reward. You may also have more than 1 bounty active at one time. And at last, but by no means the least, in fact, another great endgame content here is called the Devil's Hand. There is something strange about Sanctuary. There are whispers of a new covenant. You must find out what all of that means and what it holds for you. The player will get hints, get instructions to deliver artifact to this covenant. Once a full set is delivered, the player is then allowed to partake in this deadly game. No clear description of this covenant is available yet, but what is known is that one will find lures, chests, elites, and even bosses that will drop something peculiar that will allow the player to solve this great puzzle. So to sum it all up, we have come to know a few amazing abilities for Crusaders, and learned a lot about the endgame content for Reaper of Souls. But I have a lot more to share with you. Join me in the next video where I talk about the new astounding item affixes that will change the way you play Diablo 3, news on guilds, info about the Enchantress, clans and ladder system. Take care of yourself, subscribe to the channel for more breaking news, builds and other story-driven Diablo 3 content. Until then, remember to sharpen the axe of yours, for someone will need to fight that evil again.